So, so I was thinking, and these videos are based on my everyday thoughts and experiences and stuff like that. So I don't like to use the word ugly unless I'm talking about something inanimate. And even then, excuse me, that word is going to always be subjective. It's going to be a word that comes from an opinion. So when you're talking about, like, I do abstract art. So when people look at the art and it's like, oh, that's ugly. That's ugly. I'm like, yeah, but then there's 5 other people that say they like it. And then you have, like, I'm really big into art. So you have lowrider cars and they have those, and I'm going to use the word funky paint jobs. A lot of lines, a lot of glitter, a lot of, graphics, I would say. And then people would walk up and be like, oh, that's ugly. That's ugly. That's so ugly. And I'm like, somebody took pride in creating that. And I can't jump on the person who has an opinion saying that it's ugly. But at the same time, I would say what I've learned to say, like in regards to materialistic things, is like, that's not what I favor, or that's not my thing. Or I'm not going to say it's ugly. I'm just going to say I wouldn't have painted it that color. I've seen some paint jobs, some lowrider paint jobs, and I've seen some abstract art that I would absolutely say, no, I would not drive my car with that paint job. Or I wouldn't have, I wouldn't pay for that abstract art. I wouldn't hang that in my house. But I have to be careful and not call it ugly. And the reason I say that is because lately I've been seeing the word ugly used in reference to, people. I've seen quite a few videos on YouTube where there's a young lady, a young couple, they have a baby, and the baby has, I want to say, thyroid issues. And they're loving this baby. They just loving on this child. And it's obvious the child is cognizant and living a healthy life. And then there's another video where the young man was disformed. I don't have to go into detail and talk about it, but his mother loves him. His mother is hurting because of the things that he go through when he goes to school, but she loves her child. I could not imagine having to go through something like that. But I could never call my child ugly. When I think about young ladies, matter of fact, there was a lady on YouTube. She had a YouTube video, and it wasn't her channel because I had to look. The young lady was talking about how she was like, I know I'm ugly. I'm like, let me watch this. So she's talking about how she got most of her traits from her dad, and she got his nose and his lips and stuff, and she had a big nose. I have a big nose, I think, but I don't notice it until I'm looking at it in the mirror when I get real close, and I'm like, yeah, boy, you got a big schnoz on your player. But it is what it is. I'm not finna pay to get it reshaped, get it redone or anything like this. It's just I got a big nose, but the fact that she called herself ugly, I'm like, yo. That touched me in such a way that, I look at myself and I used to be really self-esteem issues. I had really bad self-esteem issues because kids are mean. And if your parents are not prepared, if the teachers are not prepared to lift you up when you feeling down, and situations like that, when kids are just like, you ugly. Oh, man. It was crazy to have to go through that. And then when I got to a certain place in my life, I was buying clothes. I always kept a haircut. And I was just like looking fly. I knew when I stepped out, I looked good. I was clean. I would get name brand stuff always buy name brand stuff, even to this day. Name brand stuff, always get it at, retail price. Not retail, but below retail price. I made a pact with myself. I would never spend over $35 for a pair of shoes. They will be name brand. Shirts and pants, not so much. I don't care where they come from because I'm going to take care of them anyway. So, and then I can step out anywhere and so, oh man, I remember hanging out with my cousin last summer. Me and him got dressed to go out. My auntie was like, oh my gosh, she look nice. She look nice. And bro, these clothes were not, I mean, I spent $15 for the pants from Walmart. $15, and I had a $10, like a $5 t-shirt that I had put my own graphics on. So nobody asked me about it. Nobody asked me about it. But when I stepped out, nobody knew. See, it's your personality that keeps you in that place, that keeps you looking good. And I just don't, I mean, I've had girls call me ugly, even, Shorty was like, oh, well, you conceited and you full of yourself. I'm like, I'm not finna let you call me ugly. I'm not finna let you say that I'm less than what I think I am or what I know I am. You know what I'm saying? Aunties, they gonna call me handsome because they think I'm handsome. You feel me? Cousins, they gonna say I'm handsome because they think I'm handsome. The male counterparts, my uncles, my brothers, they gonna say I'm fly. They gonna say, oh man, you looking nice tonight. You looking sharp. It's just another way, it's a compliment. But when these people get to a point, when people get to a point where they can call something ugly and not think about what they're saying, that's a bad thing. That's a bad thing, especially when you're talking about human beings, when you're talking about people in the flesh, when you're talking about young children, you're talking about babies, when you're talking about, I'm like, it's just something that I really wanted to get away from. And my heart goes out to those people who had those issues. My daughter had those issues, and I had to talk with her. I said, no matter, and they don't seek validation from parents. They seek validation from social media and their closest friends, the people who they see as gatekeepers. So it's like my mama used to say that she loved me, and she used to say I'm handsome. And I said, well, that's your job, to love me and be that type of person for me. But the world don't feel like that. And I was so wrapped up in that at one time, hooked up on that. I'm not accepted because of the way that I look. Even now, anybody on YouTube could say, hey, that boy ugly. I'm like, that's fine. But you're not gonna make me believe that. You know what I'm saying? And there was times where, women would say certain things. I say, man, look, Shorty would drop her eye and everything. And I was like, what you got that look on your face for? I said, you gonna tell me what? I said, look me in my face and tell me I'm not handsome. Especially if I was, dressed up. I said, look me in my face and tell me I'm not handsome. Girl, you done lost your damn mind. You crazy. You can't make yourself believe that. And that's my confidence level. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not gonna let nobody, dog me out like that. I'm gonna do a part 2 on this video because this is running a little bit too long and I didn't do and say the things that I wanted to say. But, sometimes when I get to talking about these things, I get a little emotional because they are personal. There's, my heart went out to certain people, or it's something that I experienced myself, or, dealing with my kids and people that's close to me. It's just, I love to see makeovers. I love to see people make a whole 180, you know what I'm saying? Because they needed that. They needed that. For me, shoot, man, let me get the haircut, man. And I don't even pay for no haircut. I cut my own hair. And I ain't finna try to, man, forget all that. But my self-esteem is high. Sometimes I get a little down, not because of self-esteem. It's just that, I'm just looking at life from a different perspective sometimes, you get tired of waiting on your blessings or whatever, but that's what you have to do. But yeah, ugly. Come on, man. We got to start tripping out that, man. We got to give people their props. People are beautiful regardless. They will find a way. If they're not the type of people you want to hang out with, don't rock with them. But please don't use the ugly word. Don't call them ugly, man. Don't do that. Just don't rock with them. Leave them alone. Get away from them. Because if that's how you feel, then why lay your eyes on them? Feel me? Well, look, I'm going to do a part 2. because, like I said, I didn't say the things that I wanted to say, and this video is running a little bit longer than I needed to. So, I hope you guys got something out of this, and I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. Best wishes. Love you, beautiful people. Peace out. Stay smooth.